Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Short Story Long. This week we have a really big guest that I'm really excited about, and that is Wiz Khalifa. Uh, I was really excited to be able to get him to come in and to tell his story and to do this podcast. I always love when you can get sort of these stories and these perspectives from people that you don't normally get to hear them from because they don't do many interviews or they're hard to get or whatever it may be. But Wiz is a really nice guy, um, really friendly, has always been friendly, really smart guy, knows what he's doing. We went through his whole story from growing up in a military family, which I didn't know, growing up in Pittsburgh, how he sort of started off his rap career, creating the massive record, which really launched him to another level that was Black and Yellow, and sort of where he took things from there.
The hardest part is figuring out what you want to master.
Focus on your product.
Can you tell somebody that they suck?
You gotta just go. This is exactly what I want to do for a living.
You can't even tell somebody that their breath is life.
All right, welcome back to Short Story Long. Here I'm joined with somebody who I would say is arguably maybe the best bowler of any I would say any rapper. Do you think there's any better rapper bowler than you?
Nah, there's like a couple. There's like some competition out there. I think Nelly bowls.
Yeah, Nelly really bowls, huh?
I think Wayne bowls.
Yeah.
And like a couple other people. They don't probably step up yet, man.
Have you done like charity celebrity games or anything
Not
like that?
yet. Not yet.
I was shocked when we went. Like I think it was like a few months ago that I saw you there, and you're like, "Oh, if you guys are betting or whatever, I want in."
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm gonna be honest. I thought like I feel pretty confident about my skills, and I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, definitely, let's get him in." And then
Yeah.
you were just killing. Like you were
Yeah.
getting like 245s or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah, nah. I was like, that was at a time where I was taking it super serious, and I was
Yeah.
like just zoning out. So that was crazy. But like we was talking about earlier, when you take a little bit of time off, you get a little rusty.
You just
So
ruin it. Yeah.
right now, you might take my money, bro.
Yeah. Well, let's go. Let's go now while we're
Yeah,
both rusty.
exactly.
Are you in town for a while?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
I
gotta
gotta
go.
go out this weekend, but then I'll be back after that. Though.
Yeah, we got to get on it. So, obviously, if you can't already tell, Wiz Khalifa, thank you for making this happen.
For sure. You already know.
So usually what I do is I just go through people's stories,
Yeah.
right? So what I didn't realize when I was looking up some of your stuff before you came in is that you moved around a lot before you
Yeah.
landed in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Got it. And that was because your parents were in the military?
Yeah.
And so where did you go? You were in Japan? And...
Yeah, I was born in North Dakota.
Got it.
I spent like a year or two there. Then I moved to Europe.
Yeah.
And my parents were in like Germany, and then they moved to England, like Upper Hayford and shit like that. And then so I was about like 2 to 4 around that time.
Okay.
Then that's when I first went back to Pittsburgh
Got it.
because that's where my mom is from. And then after that, man, everywhere. South Carolina,
Crazy. That real military life.
yeah,
Man.
Georgia, then Japan, back to Pittsburgh, Oklahoma,
That's nuts.
back to Pittsburgh.
How old when you settled in Pittsburgh? Like not till you were like
16.
Jesus Christ. So
Yeah.
you remember living all over the
Oh
place?
yeah, definitely, for sure.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah. My older brother actually passed away this year.
Really?
Yeah. He had cancer, and it was something that he was fighting for a minute, and he passed away this year.
Man.
And I got a little sister.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Part of life.
So they moved with you everywhere you went.
Yeah. Well, me and my brother really, because he was older than me.
Yeah.
So he was the first one. We was like, bam, like
Mm-hmm.
they called us the boys, you know.
Mhm.
So we went everywhere. And then my little sister, she's 7 years younger.
Got it.
So she came along when I lived in South Carolina, or I think I might have lived in Georgia at the time. And my pop had her with my stepmom
Got it.
in South Carolina.
Got it. And do you
Yeah.
remember like what type of stuff you were into when you were super young? Like even like I would say more around 12 or 13. Like
Yeah.
were you like riding BMX bikes or
Yeah.
playing sports or like what?
I was doing everything.
Yeah.
My pops, he had me like try all types of stuff.
Yeah, that's smart.
So by the time I was 13, like I had already played baseball and figured out I didn't really want to do that.
Yeah.
I gotten into like martial arts. I really liked that. I enjoyed it. I was good. I was really good at it.
That's why you like the Muay Thai stuff, huh?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But fucking playing football. I was getting a little bit skinny at that time. You know how it is.
Yeah,
Like,
I lasted like half of the first week of football.
man, I wasn't
Out
trying
of
to get
there.
hit.
No, hell no.
Basketball, I was good at that.
Yeah.
And that was when like and one was popping. So if you could dribble and you could pass behind your back and
Yeah.
dunk and shit like that, you was straight.
Yeah.
So I was good at that. And music. I really knew I wanted to do music. Like I enjoyed it. I always would freestyle with my cousins.
Yeah.
Like, Bow Wow was out back then. So he
Yeah.
was the only younger dude
Yeah.
that we would look at. But I was always like rapping hard. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I
Yeah.
listened to like Wu-Tang and shit. Like Cameron was my favorite rapper. So it was like,
So that
I was
started
rapping.
early.
Yeah,
Got it.
definitely. I loved music because my cousins were so into it.
Yeah.
Like they were in the streets and doing wild shit, but they loved music as well.
Yeah.
So that's how I was able to digest the stuff that they were listening to, like about what they thought was tight.
Yeah.
It wasn't really like I wasn't listening to kid shit. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I had DMX in third grade. like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
How
So,
old are you now?
I'm 30.
Yeah, see, we're the same age.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
the same time frame.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Did you feel like pretty quick, like you were catching on to it, or like was it real rocky in the beginning?
I had always caught on to it fast.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really started in like second and third grade.
Yep.
Me and my cousins, we would go to the library and like not download, but look up music, like the lyrics to songs,
Yeah.
and print them out and shit.
Yeah.
So when the songs would come on, we would sing them, and we all had different parts and shit. And I always knew my part really well.
Yeah.
So that's how I knew I could do music. And like I would pick the flashiest, most flamboyant, like coolest, most chill part.
Yeah.
Because I always felt like that was me, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
I didn't do it purposefully.
Yep.
But looking back, I knew in my head like kind of who I was. Like I
Yeah.
wanted to be a superstar.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What about like how'd your parents react? Like were your parents down for it, or were they like
Yeah, my parents were always with it. My mom thought it was cute.
Yeah.
She thought it was super cute.
Yeah.
And my dad was always the type to like really push me and challenge me.
Yeah.
So he's the one who made me take it serious.
And so would you say like from let's say 16 you're sort of planted in Pittsburgh, at that point you're 100% dedicated to it. You know
Yeah.
that's what you want to do.
Yeah, definitely. For
so
sure. It's like,
dope.
to the point where I'm not going to like basketball games with my friends. Like
Yeah.
I'm not hanging out. I'm just going to the studio. Like literally just saving all my money and that going towards my sessions and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. What I love about interviewing people like you on this show, because I do a lot of like young entrepreneurs and young stuff like that, and it's almost like everyone when they're young has the dream of being like a rapper or a musician or a athlete or whatever.
Right.
But so few actually live that dream.
Right.
Right. Like you're living like the childhood
Right.
dream
For sure.
to the fullest.
100%.
And that's so dope. You know, I interviewed Kyrie Irving not that long ago, and it's the same thing. Like
Yeah.
I've interviewed so many people who are like, yeah, I grew up, I thought I was going to be in the NBA, but sort of real life came at me, right?
Yeah.
And like with you guys, it's like, no, you got to live that.
Well, I think like a lot of people, everybody has the power to manifest
Yeah.
things. And
Are you big on that stuff?
yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, same.
You have, you've done it.
Yeah.
You know, like you didn't start out where you're at now,
Yeah.
but it was in your head.
Yeah.
People might not have looked at you and said that you're that dude, but you always told yourself you was that dude.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it happen, really, because being famous is anybody could be famous.
Mhm.
You could shit yourself and get 1 million views and become
Especially now,
famous.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not really the point, but you're pushing through and you're seeing these personal goals
Mhm.
become reality, and then it starts to turn into you're rubbing elbows with famous motherfuckers and you're not even knowing why.
Yeah.
But it's just because of the work that you put in and
Yeah.
the things that you sacrifice. And that's really what it is to be able to know which steps to take and which roads to go down to really, make this thing happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you always felt that way, like since you were young, like sort of that like just unwavering confidence of like, this is who I am, I'm going to make this happen?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was more or less forced into that way of thought because like I'm not your average cool guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm super cool. Like my personality is amazing, but I'm not the dude on the streets who everybody thought was cool. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it forced me to be myself, and it forced me to not try to act like anybody and go through people teasing me and
Yeah.
saying that things wouldn't work that I knew would work.
Yeah.
But it's like you just don't see it, and that's no problem between me and you.
Yeah.
That's just you don't see it, and it doesn't make me less confident in
Yeah.
where I'm going to go with it. And I think in that I was able to build my own world, and anybody can do it really when you block out the negativity.
Yeah.
Because like, it's going to exist and you're always going to see those people over again, but the big picture is that you're going to get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts. What's so cool about that too is that now you are, like, I would say you are looked at as one of the coolest rappers that exists, right? Like your
Yeah.
style, your everything. Like the people that
Yeah.
your fans like love you to death because you're so unique.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And like fighting through that, I can only imagine. I just didn't think about it that way. Like all of the stuff you probably had to go through or tune out
Yeah.
to stick to that.
Yeah,
You know what I
definitely.
mean? Because you're also
Definitely.
not a dude who's like changed styles a bunch or anything like that.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what I mean?
I've always been myself, and anybody who does that, you know what comes with it.
Yeah.
You know what comes with being different and not being exactly like everybody else. And for me being a celebrity, of course people are gonna like me and say that they like me and shit like that. But what are they really into? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And that's what I've always been. I take pride in knowing, like, all right, I'm a good dude. I don't treat people like shit.
Yeah.
I got great values. My family is straight and they love me. And I don't promote people doing fucked up shit. Like
Yeah.
I want people to always be their best selves.
Yeah.
And if that's gonna make you tease me, then I can deal with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's dope that you just were speaking out against like lean and crazy drug use,
Yeah.
especially with what happened to Lil Peep, and like
Yeah.
it's just dope to hear because I feel like that shit kind of snowballs.
Yeah.
And I'm not even some big like anti-drug. I mean, yeah, I want everyone to be their best, right? But I kind of let people do what they do.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
preach,
exactly.
but the same as you, I think. And I think that like when in entertainment, it just kind of snowballs where it becomes like right now, it's almost like on trend to be a crackhead,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
And it's
right.
like it used to be everyone was a drug dealer, and now everyone's a drug user.
Yeah.
And like the more fucked up you are, the better.
Yeah.
And I just feel like the thing with Lil Peep is the epitome of like this is real life.
Right.
Like this kid just died.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I don't think anyone, I'm not here to judge, but like I just don't think he was getting the like help or support that he needed.
Right.
Instead, he's getting pumped up for it.
Right,
Like, yeah,
exactly.
take more. You know
Right.
what I mean? But I thought it was cool that you spoke out. And
Yeah,
said
nah, I
something.
appreciate that. And
Yeah.
like really it's just like I look at it like because I come from Pittsburgh, which is a really tough place.
Yeah.
And there's like a lot of gang members. There's a lot of ex-gang members, especially out here too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of gang members or dudes who's in the streets or niggas who used to rob banks and be really crazy, but they don't promote that and tell you that that's what you're supposed to do
Yeah.
with your life.
Yeah.
They tell you the opposite. And they tell you don't do that because of this and that, and this is where it's going to lead you.
Yeah.
And 15 years in jail isn't really fucking fun.
Yeah.
So them is the OGs. That's how they tell you because they learn from experience.
Yeah.
Me, I don't use drugs, so I can't tell anybody from experience.
Yep.
But I would like to speak for the other side of for the people who they don't have anybody who's gone through that
Yeah.
and telling them like, okay, it looks cool now, but this could be a problem. That could be a problem. That
Yeah.
could be a problem. And you don't want these problems. They
Yeah.
don't have anybody telling them that.
No.
There's nobody on the other side being an example and saying that this is the end result.
Mm-hmm.
You only see the illusion.
Yep.
So that could be dangerous, man.
Yeah. And I also
Super
think what's
dangerous.
crazy is like there's nobody checking like young people now, right? Like I think
Right.
like even in like let's say 10 years ago, if you wanted to go on TV or something, which is one of your only media outlets,
Mhm.
or be in music videos doing drugs, you can only get away with so much of it,
Right.
Because there's people saying no, you're
Right.
not doing that here. Now these kids can go live on Instagram
Mhm.
and have hundreds of thousands of people watching them like throw Xanax into their mouth,
Mhm.
and like there's just no barrier,
Yeah.
and like I think that's crazy.
It's the real filter is when people die
Yeah,
because that's the end result.
yeah,
And that's all I'm really like trying to say is there is an end
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. So at like 16, Pittsburgh, I guess what I'm wondering is like when did rapping like start to catch and be like this is actually working? Like whether it's
Mhm.
doing little shows or
Yeah.
like what comes first? You start to build a fan base?
I think for me, it really started like I was recording with my DJ and engineer at the time. His name was Huggy,
Mm-hmm.
and really just learning how to put songs together. E Dan taught me a lot too.
Yeah.
My partner Diesel, he taught me a lot. But learning how to put songs together, 16 bars, 8-bar hook,
Mm-hmm.
16 bars, 8-bar hook, 8-bar bridge, 8-bar hook. That used to be the format.
format,
Now it's
yeah.
like 8-bar hook, 8-bar verse, 8-bar hook, song over.
Yeah, no shit.
But they taught me like rap formula, you know?
Yeah.
And with that, I made like 4 songs that were really good that we really liked. And that's what I kind of shopped around to people. Like I would go to New York and go to major labels like Columbia. And then I would meet with All Hip Hop. They were one of the first media outlets to cover me.
Yep.
So I would meet with them and they put me in the breeding ground. So I would drive up there and then I would do their little showcases. So like 2 or 3 songs. I remember B.O.B. was there.
Yeah.
Knowledge and the Cool Kids. I don't know if you remember
I
them.
do. I
Well,
remember
Cool
Cool
Kids is a
Kids,
different
yeah.
group. But what was Knowledge's group called? It was him and Asian Cuz who works with
I should know that.
with Macklemore now. But yeah.
God damn it. I
we
should
all
know
go
that.
we all go back. But that's how it really started, was going up there, doing that,
Got it.
performing there. I had like four songs that I was really, really working. And then that's when I got my production deal with Rostrum.
Got it.
I started messing with Benji. And then
Where were they based out of?
Rostrum?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Okay, I thought
He had only had one artist at that time who he had traveled with. He had a single and stuff like that, but there was nothing really organic like me.
Yeah.
So the angle was kind of different. We were trying to make big songs that kind of paid off and it kind of didn't. You know what I mean? So in the meantime, while I was making those big songs, I was able to also just write my ass off and just be in the studio and be around the homies. And then that's when I started smoking weed and like going crazy with it. And then that's when my first mixtape came out, Prince of the City.
Got it.
And then from there, it was just a wrap.
So that's where it started.
Yeah, yep.
God damn it.
Yeah.
So you got the deal before you really had like a fan base or anything like that. You weren't doing like shows for fans and shit like that, right?
Nah.
That's
I built my
crazy.
fan base off of MySpace.
Yep.
Definitely being on MySpace and being active on there and just like always having cool graphics and cool pictures of myself. And there wasn't really cats like smoking weed on the internet back then. So like I had like 4 smoking pictures on there that were just like
back when it was like crazy.
Exactly.
Like, damn, he's doing something bad.
Exactly. And you couldn't even really see the blunt. It was like this big, but you just see like some smoke coming out. You're like, yo, he's smoking weed.
He's
Like,
crazy.
that shit is wild.
That's funny, man.
Yeah.
So that mixtape, did that mixtape really go hard in Pittsburgh, or you were noticing it from everywhere because of MySpace and stuff?
Man, it was crazy. Look, it took so long for my music to catch on in Pittsburgh.
Oh, you feel like it blew up other places first?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
That's how it always is.
Yeah.
But it was weird because I put in a lot of work and I wouldn't take that work back.
Yep.
But I expected, like, I'm gonna drop my mixtape. Everybody in the city is gonna be
Of
riding
course.
around playing it. It's like, nah, they playing Jeezy, they playing Lil Boosie,
Yeah.
like they playing everybody but my shit.
Uh-huh.
So it forced me to work harder
Yeah.
and keep trying to entertain different crowds of people and just make a bigger sound
Yeah.
that would expand and that, people wouldn't feel bad about riding around, going crazy to it.
Yeah. So that was always a goal of yours, was to make big music, huh?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
That's nuts, because Black and Yellow is a massive record. Like,
I
it
did that on
just
purpose.
feels large.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that
That's
was
smart.
always my goal. It's crazy because if like we talk about mixtapes, like Prince of the City was my first one. And then I went on and I did Prince of the City 2, which is a really big milestone for me because that's when I found my style.
Yeah.
I got the P chain.
Yep.
I was starting to get tattoos.
I remember that
and
P chain.
I was getting really confident. Then Star Power came out. That's when I started traveling out here. That's when you first met me.
Yeah.
Because that was after Say Yeah and all of that shit.
was
You remember that
so
song,
long
Say
ago.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So that was a really long time ago. But that was the mixtape that was like, that made me more global.
Yeah.
Because people thought I was from the West Coast and shit just because of
Yeah.
my style.
Yeah, you have that vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was smoking weed, I was tatted, I was chilling, I was dressing nice, so they thought I was from the West Coast. And they helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
So, boom, Star Power. Then Twitter gets popular, and I drop Flight School.
Uh-huh.
That did really well for me. And then through Flight School, I meet Currency. We do How Fly.
Yeah, I love Currency.
Uh,
Currency
af-
used to come record like
Yeah.
in Rob's
Hell yeah.
basement with fucking Big
Mhm.
Black. Like,
Just as long as he got some weed and some papers, he
Yeah,
was
man, he's
straight.
a good guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. That's my brother.
Yep.
You know, we spent like the whole summer together, like really just living together,
Yeah.
like buying food and
Out here?
nah, in New Orleans.
Got it.
Yep. So we did that, boom. And then the whole time when I was about to do Cushion Orange Juice, I already knew I wanted to do like a really smooth mixtape and like a really rowdy mixtape.
Yeah.
'Cause I was like, that's what Pittsburgh is.
Yeah.
You got like these smooth hip hop heads, these real, earthy, like
Yeah.
motherfuckers who love lyrics and love vibes.
Yeah.
And then you got these trap niggas who like that's all they want. And that was my battle. Like growing up was like, I'm not trap enough
Yeah.
and I'm not lyrical enough
Yeah.
but I am both of those just because of the vibe.
Yeah.
So that's why I did Cushion Orange Juice first and then Cabin Fever after that.
Yeah.
But Cushion Orange Juice was the one that caught on. And then like you said with Black and Yellow trying to make big music, I had already been down a road of like, gaining fans and getting motherfuckers who know what my sound is.
Yeah.
But it's always just been about bigger shit to me. Like I study the greats and I listen to people's hits. Like I listen to the writing in them and what makes them great and
Yeah.
where the song goes up and where it comes down.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? And how many bars and what to do. So when I made Black and Yellow, it was on purpose. I was like, I'm gonna reach outside of the mixtape and just go
that's
big.
nuts. That's so dope.
Man.
That's so dope to hear that because, like I said, it is just such a massive record. And that's one thing that I always felt about it is like, not only is it just a hit record, it's so good, but it just, like I said, it feels massive. Like when you see the videos of them playing it in the Steelers Stadium and you see like why it blew up on that level,
Right.
it makes perfect sense. 'Cause
Right.
there's a lot of hit records that you just can't play in a stadium.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Right.
man, that one just
It was
hit.
always my goal to like in the back of my head. You was talking like we talked about it earlier, but I always wanted to make that standout song, like how Snoop has,
Yeah.
like "What's My Name," you know what I'm saying, or "Gin and Juice."
Mm-hmm.
It was really more "Gin and Juice." I'm like, I need a song that like is gonna last for my whole fucking career. You play it 40 years, and you know that was
And
that
you
one
did it,
song
bro.
that
That's
sparked it.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy to have that. Like everyone says, I want to make really big music and I want a song that lasts forever.
Yeah.
You actually went and did it.
Yeah,
Nuts.
yeah.
How often were you putting out mixtapes in that like lead up?
Mm-hmm.
How, like when you were putting all those mixtapes and all those projects out, how was that like once a year? Or?
Yeah, once a year.
Got it.
Yeah.
Because you put out a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once a year. That was how I was able to tour and also like stay in the studio.
And so that was your life then, just like touring, studio, working on a new project,
Mhm.
just over and over.
Yep.
So when Black and Yellow came out, like, did you feel the entire world change for you? Like, was that
Yeah.
a moment of like, holy shit?
Yeah, definitely.
How'd that go down for you? Like, meaning like, did they start servicing it to radio and then that
Mhm.
starts picking up steam? What did it feel like on your side?
It was it happened like I made the song in June and nobody at the label was fucking with it. And so they told me that I had until August to make another song.
Really?
So I had been recording, just trying different things, different styles, different fun shit.
Yeah.
And nothing really popped off to me like Black and Yellow. So by August, they came to me and was like, you got another song? I'm like, nope, it's Black and Yellow. And they were so mad at me. It's like, it's just a regional record. It's not going to blow up. I'm like, well, I didn't record anything else. So this is all you got.
Yeah.
And they worked it and they went soft on it at first. And then it picked up like that. Like it picked up so fast and the video went crazy. And the Steelers did well that year. So by January of the next year, it was #1.
Jesus.
And then when it went #1, it was like, oh.
All of a sudden, yeah, we knew it all along. And does that change? Like, that changes like the type of venues you're performing at?
Yeah.
Does it change everything?
Yeah, it changes everything. I started performing at like fucking football stadiums, literally flying private. Like that's when the
man.
private flight started, getting booked, to come do one song
Yeah.
and like
here's
just big shit.
250 grand. is
Exactly.
5 minutes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that big shit. And it was good. It was good because I was like, okay, this is business right here.
Yeah.
Like, I could always have fun with my music, but I have to maintain this part of the business right here because this is where the bar is. This is who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you're smart. And then did the Steelers pick it up pretty quick, like right away?
Yeah. The Steelers picked it up right away. Because it's really, I don't know. That's kind of crazy. Just being from Pittsburgh and having like a
Yeah.
Steelers anthem too.
Yeah. And you have your own day there now, right?
Yeah. Yep.
On 12/12.
12/12.
Do you go back there a lot or no?
I do and I don't.
Yeah, that's how I am with Ohio.
Yeah.
Like I should more.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's literally we're right next door to each
Yeah,
other.
exactly.
Um,
You know why?
yeah, 100%. I'm going for Christmas and I'm dreading it
Mm-hmm.
just because it's cold. And I'm
Cold.
sorry, Ohio, I love you, but like, damn it,
Cold.
it's cold
you
and
get stuck
just
at mom's
brown
house,
and
you
just,
just
you know what I
like,
mean?
fuck. What am I gonna do? Go fucking bowling?
Yeah, that's it. That's all we
grocery
do.
shopping, movies.
And it used to snow like crazy. It snows more in Pittsburgh, huh? It used
Both.
to snow like crazy.
It
where
smells
we
like
were
more
at.
towards like February and shit.
Yeah, because now it doesn't. So
Yeah.
now when I go home for Christmas, it's just like brown and gray and shitty
Yep.
and cold.
Cold.
Anyway, I love you, Ohio. So what I guess like where does it go from there, right? Like so now
Mhm.
I'm just guessing, correct me if I'm wrong, but you obviously have all these fans, you're playing at these bigger venues. The label must sort of respect you more, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Right? Like you
Yeah.
start to call your own shots a little bit more.
Yeah.
It just goes off to the next level, right?
Yeah, at this time I was the only artist on the label like that.
Yeah.
So
Oh, was Rostrum through?
well, Rostrum was my production deal.
Yeah.
And then so we got signed to Atlantic through Rostrum.
Got it.
So I'm on Atlantic by this time.
And so you say you're the only one on Atlantic that was like that.
Yeah, I'm the only one in rap music like that.
Yeah.
And then especially on Atlantic, who's like, you know, I'm rap, but I'm more of an alternative act
Yeah.
to where my merch sells and my touring is going crazy
Yeah.
and my fan base is, you know, ridiculous. And I have so much input on my project and everything that's going on creatively. Like they never really experienced a situation like that. So it was like, it was hit or miss to them because they were trusting me, and then they seen that it had worked.
Yeah.
Because I came in with the whole Taylor gang format and the whole all that. And they were like, all right, well, we'll see if it works.
Yeah.
And it ended up working. So, but at that time, it was really, really good because there wasn't anybody in my lane. There wasn't nobody really doing what I was doing. I was carving out this whole path for a lot of people. So it was good. It was fun. Yeah.
Is Ty Dolla $ign and those guys, are they signed to your
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah,
Okay, got
yep.
it. So that's when you brought them all in.
Ty, I
after
brought Ty in. Let me see, Rolling Papers. Yeah, it was pretty early.
Yep.
Yeah, because we started working on Paranoid and shit like that.
That's
like
crazy.
like right around when Own IFC came out and shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
What was like the craziest? Do you remember any like sort of craziest moment of just being a fucking rock star? Like, do you have any moment that sticks out in your head of like, that was some shit? Like that one time we were in Germany, like whatever, anything like that? Or it was just a lot of them?
I would just say the tours in general.
Yeah.
The tours are pretty crazy. And when I look back at them, it's like, wow, we really did that.
Yeah.
Each one is individual and it's special and it's like cool and it's a vibe. It's like right where I was at in my life at that time. And it's just super interesting to see me put that out there to the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about like anything, like the relationship with your parents? Were your parents like, here's the thing, we come from pretty similar areas,
Right.
like we were talking about. My parents can't fathom or wrap their head around the fact that I was on like a reality show.
Right.
So I can't imagine like when you're a superstar traveling the world, like are
Yeah.
your parents just like, I don't fucking know, but we're happy for you.
Nah, they check me out. Like my dad is super funny. He's like, you know, I was a star before you. Like you just doing something different. I've been known. And then my mom is like, you know, how mom's like, that's my baby.
Yeah.
You know, go baby.
Yeah,
I'm so
man.
proud of you. Everything that I do. And then I just downplay everything. I'm like, come on, mommy, chill. But she like, oh no, you need to. So it's good, man. Like my parents keep me in check, and they remind me to just love it from a regular perspective. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like I didn't grow. You know, we didn't grow up like you know what I mean, with famous anybody or
No.
any handouts because of who we are, or
Yeah.
anything. So it was like we really made this from the mud. So
Yeah.
they happy to see that.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like I said, it's even a thing that for my like where I try to explain it to like my friends and stuff now, and like, you know, my parents and where we come from is just so it's just not even like it's not even an option.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the reason why I love doing this podcast is like I moved to LA. The way I see it is I moved to LA and I saw all of the stuff that was possible
Mhm.
and that it was normal people doing it. And that's what kind of opened my eyes to
Mhm.
believe that I could do more
Right.
than what I had planned.
Exactly.
And so like my goal is to try to just show as many young people possible that it's that it is possible, and
Definitely.
that we're normal people, and that
Yeah.
you're relatable, and the story isn't that
Yeah.
different. You know what I
Nah,
mean?
it comes from the same place. Like when you sitting in your crib and you watching TV and you say, "Fuck, I could do that shit too." Like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
you got to really get out there and just try it. And we're the same age, so we pretty much grew up inspired by the same things. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And a lot of our friends might have took the same routes too, that we could have either went that way, but we went this way.
Yeah.
And that's the most important part, is like those kids who know like it's not going to be easy. You have to make these decisions, and you have to, put yourself in the right place to make it happen. But when you do it, it all pays off. And, it's not just because I rap that I'm in the place that I'm at. It's because I bust my ass. You know what I mean? It's because like I was willing to do things that people at that time weren't willing to do.
Yeah.
I'm still willing to do it, and I still do it now. It's just, I don't want any coverage on it. You know what I mean? It's just part of my reputation and part of who I am. Like, you wouldn't expect anything less. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, there is certain like criteria to be able to maintain this shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's out here for everybody. I want everybody to get rich and have a good time, but you're also going to get tired. You know what I mean? You're also going to get frustrated. You know what I mean? So you got to deal with all of that. You can't just deal with the good part.
Yeah.
So, like
Yeah,
you said,
yeah.
just giving young people a perspective and letting them know it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it always your goal to sign other people? Like, pretty quickly, did you have that goal? Because like we were saying about Ty and those guys, like, you've done really good at getting in there, blowing up, becoming this star, and then signing other people and successful people.
Right.
I mean, you have a good ear and like know what
Right.
you're doing. Was that always part of your plan too?
Yeah, that was always part of my plan. I look up to people like Master P and like Puffy and shit like that.
Yep.
Who not only, even Pharrell, who not only like are superstars, but they see the best in the people around them
Yeah.
and their team, and they're able to just rub off that magic. You know what I'm saying? Cameron with Dipset. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, that's just the way the world works. It's like, if you believe in somebody, you believe in everybody around them.
Yep.
And I believe anybody that I work with is a superstar.
Yeah. Yeah.
From the bottom of my heart. It's not just because I'm investing money into them. I really feel like they're superstars.
Yeah.
And, the rest of the world, eventually they start to get
Yeah,
onto
yeah,
that too.
you've done a good job, man. Because
Yeah.
a lot of times I think that what else happens is sometimes these people are really successful or really, really big artists. People really resonate with them, but they just can't sign a good act to
Yeah.
save their life for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens. It's like how your own music
Yeah.
sounds good, and you know
Mhm.
what to put out for you, but the other stuff doesn't resonate.
Well,
But
I feel like
you do a
that
good
happens
job.
because, like, a lot of the times that artist is so, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
focused. Everything is so focused towards that artist.
Yeah,
And
that's
it
true.
doesn't really, there's no step back. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm really allowed to take a step back just
Yeah.
because of how great my artists are. Like Ty, he doesn't need my help. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? He's a superstar all on his own.
Yeah,
So it doesn't take me running around and saying, "Yo, Ty's on Taylor Gang," blah, 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 for people to believe in his music.
yeah,
But when they find out, it's like, oh, shit, it makes perfect sense.
yeah, yeah,
So I'm really just trying to set a new standard of just like how if music is dope, it just needs to stand together. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? We all stand together. Ty's going to sell out his own tours.
yeah,
There's not going to be anything crippling about his situation with being with me.
yeah. That's what else is so smart is he doesn't feel like. Obviously, I knew he was your artist just from the history from where it came from, but it doesn't feel like
Yeah.
he's like stuck under you or
Mm-mm.
something. You know what I
Nah.
mean? Like he's really done a good job. You guys have both done a good job at like, and he still shouts out Taylor Gang. And he's
Always.
still, you know what I mean?
He reps the game. But
But-
I study the greats, man. And I look at what people do wrong, and I'm just going to do it right.
Yeah. That's smart. What's next for you, man? Like you've done so much shit. You're
Yeah.
still doing so much shit. We were talking earlier. You're super healthy now.
Yep.
You're buff as shit.
Yep.
You were one of the motivations why I joined that gym.
Yep.
Right. So
now you need to come down
I
there.
know I've been skipping.
That's crazy. I'm not
Fucking
going to let you
lazy,
skip no
bro.
more, bro.
I literally, because I
I'm not
saw
with
yours
that.
and I'm like, listen, I have skinny guy problem, and if this guy, because you were about the
Yep.
same size as me,
Yeah.
and like if he can do it, I can fucking do it.
Yeah, you got this, bro.
But yeah, you've been killing it on that. So is health like? Are you focusing on health? Like,
Yeah.
that's like
Health is a big thing for me.
Yeah. I avoided it for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I was never super unhealthy.
Yeah.
I just didn't give a shit.
You got to give a shit.
No, but have you always?
Huh?
Have you always?
Subconsciously.
Yeah. But you
Yeah.
weren't like working out and shit.
Nah, I never worked out in my life.
Yeah.
I always tried to eat pretty decent.
Yep.
But I never worked out in my life. But it's really just about getting older and getting to that next stage in life.
Yeah.
And like, you know, we party a lot, we drink a lot,
Yeah.
and there's no real balance for that.
Mm-hmm.
So now I've just been on the health more
Mm-hmm.
and the partying and the drinking less.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna have no balance, it's gonna be more on this side and less
Yeah.
on that side.
It's true, man. We're getting
Yeah.
old.
We
I'm in the
getting
same
old,
exact
man.
way. And now like a hangover lasts like 3 days.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's
Like, it's
that's
just-
not the wave, bro.
Fuck.
It sounds fun and if it seems cool, like I can handle it. But man, you know how it is. The older you get, the
It
more that
sucks.
shit starts to settle in, and it just. I feel much better being motivated by the gym and healthy shit.
Yeah.
That puts me in the better place mentally. It's not like the fucking savior like everybody says it is, because that shit is hard.
It's so hard.
It's difficult.
Bro, the first 3 days, I felt like I got hit by a car. Like, I'm
that
not.
shit is difficult.
Yeah.
You know, and I encourage everybody to do it.
Yep. So what else? What's your sort of, where do you go from here?
I'm working
accomplished
more on
so
music,
much.
of course. I
Yeah.
want to drop another album
Yep.
before
But you just came out with one,
before
right?
I turn 39. So, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came out with another mix. Well, shit, I came out with a mixtape.
Got it.
But because, like you said, I do a project a year.
Yep.
And this mixtape is going to gauge what people want for the next album, but also give them something different, just a little bit different temperature from what's out.
Got it.
I always got to be myself, so that's what I wanted to do with the mixtape, and also promote and get into the album, make it really, really exciting,
Yep.
so they have a whole world to live in.
Yep.
And so I'm gonna drop this album. I've been working on TV shit as well,
Really?
like executive producing and trying to write some shows just based off of like my ideas, and it's going really, really well.
That's dope.
Like the whole shit, like pitching shows, you know,
Yeah, it's a whole nother world.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
new for me, bro. But it's cool because I kind of get to just show up and not just show up, but like be myself. You
Yeah.
know, like people just want to hear me talk shit and say what I think is cool.
Yeah, and they want to hear that you really care.
Right.
Like when they see like you're really invested in this
Mhm.
shit, like that goes a long way.
Mhm.
You know?
So I'm learning that game.
Yeah.
Couple business like investments that I've been doing as far as like health wise.
Mhm.
Fucking it's not juice, it's Juice Press, right? Yeah, you heard Juice Press
Yep.
in New York?
Yep.
We're trying to expand them,
Yep.
do some business with them as well.
That's
like
dope.
get into that because you know how popular that shit is.
Yeah, it's huge, especially out here.
Mhm.
I'm in on one called Beaming.
Okay, cool.
That's a juice thing.
Yeah,
yeah,
yep,
because
that's
it's
the
just
wave.
huge. Yeah,
That's the
Do you
wave.
do that? You drink
Yeah.
like the juice shit?
Mhm.
Man, you're way
Um,
healthier than I am.
What'd you say?
You're better at this than I am.
It's cool, bro. You could fuck with me and we could be on the same way.
Yeah, yeah, we got at
I'm
least
your
at
homie,
least
I'm
on the
out here.
gym shit, man. And gym and bowling, we're fucking
Gym
we're
and
right
bowling.
there. Yeah,
I got an alcohol coming out too. I got a gin.
of course
you can fuck with me on
Yeah,
that.
Of course you do.
Yeah, I got a gin coming out. It should be dropping at the beginning of next year. We just got the bottle, the whole write up, the name. We getting the cocktail mixtures and everything.
Yeah.
It's gonna be legit, yo.
That's so
The
dope.
same people who did Bel Air and Douce
Yep.
and all of that, the same guy
Yep,
or the same company who puts that stuff out. That's who I'm doing my gin with.
that's dope.
Yeah. So I got my weed game
Yep,
online.
that stuff's huge, right?
Yeah.
all your weed stuff is huge.
Yeah, all the weed stuff. Apps are really, really big.
yeah,
If anybody has that time of day to try to like develop some shit,
yeah.
apps are the wave.
Do you make money from having your own strain or not?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like that. Is it super like? Can you
Yeah.
make a lot that way?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
definitely.
Because I just hear about it all the damn time. I know there was that weird little Twitter misunderstanding with Kanye or
Yeah, that
whatever,
was
you
funny,
know?
man.
But like when that blew up on the weed strain, me as like a marketing dude was like, "Fuck,
Yeah,
this is
right.
huge."
Making KK popular.
Yeah,
I need to get her to like do an ad or something.
yeah, anything.
Because that's my new market is moms.
yeah.
Yeah, so that would be dope.
Do you see a lot of like feedback from moms smoking weed?
Yeah, yeah. They want to smoke pot. They want to enjoy it. They don't want to like have a joint like this though. They want the edibles and the
Like
the
the
vape
pens
pens
and shit?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
It's crazy, like the not to like because I don't know much about it, but just the transition that it's already made, like the way that weed is looked at,
Mm-hmm.
like from when we were growing up
Right.
to how it is now. Like
Right.
it's fucking.
It's
nuts.
always been a cool, crazy thing because I sold weed in high school, and
But it was like
Jewish, like the moms and the parents, them was like my most loyal customers.
really.
Because they would get it on the low, they would buy in bulk, and it was sneaky. They didn't want nobody to really know about it.
Yeah.
So that was always knew that was like it was real to them.
Yeah.
They just don't want everybody to know about it.
Yeah.
So now that it's becoming more acceptable, there's things that we just got to get out of the way so they can hide it a little bit
Yeah,
better.
you're
That's
right.
all.
Man, it's just funny. It's funny how like I feel like even dealing weed when you were in high school probably felt like you were like doing a very serious crime.
Yeah, it felt bad as shit.
Yeah.
It felt horrible.
Now it just feels so acceptable. I don't know what it's like.
I would
maybe-
love for high school kids to at least learn how to grow weed.
Yeah.
They should be able to learn how to grow
I
weed.
bet you in like another 10 years they will.
5.
They'll be teaching shit like that. 5?
Yeah.
Deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Last question, I think. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Am I missing anything on your side?
Nah, I think we got my whole history.
That's good. We did a good job. That was like pretty
Okay.
quick and like a
Yeah.
good. Do you have any favorite like books, podcasts, or documentaries? Just a lot of the listeners are really into that stuff.
Any music documentary, I watch a lot
Yep.
of.
Did you watch Defiant Ones?
Yeah,
So good.
that was really, really good.
That was so good.
That was so dope.
Not only is the story so good, but they did such a good job like
Yeah.
filming it.
Hey, the footage was really good.
I've
The
watched it like
stories
4
were
times.
dope. Like hearing just about writing and making albums and shit like that. I love that. Like I watched Pink Floyd. I watched how MC Hammer made
Yeah.
Please Hammer Don't Hurt Him.
Yeah.
Like, because that shit's interesting to me. Like he
Yeah.
was a superstar. He had hundreds of people with him. His stage production was crazy. Like I want to know the thought process that goes into that.
100%. Fuck. Okay, 2 more things. If you could tell, it's not necessarily about the college part. It's just about where they're at in their lives. If you could tell a college kid who just walked off stage at his graduation
hmm
anything, what would you tell him?
Start smoking weed.
I like that.
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay, and then last thing, if you could tell yourself, it can't be the same answer.
All
At
right.
age, we'll say like 14, 12 to 14, right? You're
Mhm.
moving around a lot. Whatever was going through your head at that time, if
Mhm.
you now could tell yourself, I mean, you've lived a fucking crazy life,
Word.
right? Like if you could tell yourself anything, tell that version of yourself anything,
hmm
what would you tell little Wiz?
Bruh, you about to be lit.
That's so good. That's so good. That's good, man.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is. Any other things? Any other albums out or mixtapes out?
Cameron's mixtape is out.
Cameron's mixtape is out. What? Where else should people go?
Ty Dolla $ign, Beach House 3,
Yeah, that's so good.
Juicy J, Highly Intoxicated, and me and Juicy dropped the album this year, TGOD Mafia. Me, Juicy, and TM88.
Yep.
He's also signed to Taylor Gang too.
Really?
He made the beat for EXO Tour Live.
Yeah, he's popping.
That's Taylor Gang.
Yeah. It's like I didn't even want to get into it because I
Yeah.
know you're the type of dude who has like artists and producers. Like you're so deep in this shit.
Yeah. It's just I feel honored because these are guys who want to work with us.
Yeah.
And want to say, all right, I'm doing this great work for the world, but it's going to represent the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's amazing to me.
That's so dope. That's so
Yeah.
hard to do, especially
Yeah.
in music, because
Yeah.
music's such a like corrupt
Yeah.
business.
Yeah. And then people, they want it all for themselves, but I want everybody to shine too.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the love like reciprocates.
Yep.
I want these motherfuckers to shine, bro. Like,
Yeah, you're just
Cool,
a
like
special
crazy.
guy, man. You've done a really good job and been able to like keep it so real.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Thank
Hell
you,
yeah.
man. Thanks for making
no
this
doubt,
happen.
baby. Thanks
You're
for
the
having
man.
me, man.
There it was. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. That was a little bit of a unique perspective from Wiz that I haven't heard, and I don't think he's told very much. And in the limited amount of time that we had him here in the office, he did a really good job at doing the interview and giving me all the information and all the stories that I asked for. So thank you. I hope you liked it. Leave me some feedback on the iTunes store. Go to my Instagram @drama. Let me know what you thought, what you think, who you'd like to hear next, what you'd like to hear more of, how this podcast is affecting your life, and continue to share it. Tell your friends. Let everyone know about it. My newsletter, where I share my books I'm reading, my documentaries I'm watching, podcasts I'm listening to. Go to ynr.la/drama. Sign up, put in your email. I send them out every week. Go to youngandreckless.com. Use the promo code SSL. Get 40% off all full-priced items. And check out my YouTube page, youtube.com/drama. We got some video blogs. We got a new show called Group Chat. We put these podcasts up on there. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. And I will be back same day, same time next week.